You've received the wisdom of the two fingers, have you not? Then I bid you welcome as a true member of the Round Table.
This is not the quiz, but the quiz is coming, and
I'm so scared of the quiz.
The quiz is coming.
I'm so scared.
And I will say, this is essentially your mock. So pay attention, boys. This is the last, the penultimate roundtable of part 2 of Retry Elden Ring, the greatest Let's Play in the world, probably. I would have thought so. This is a very chunky boy of a roundtable.
Ooh, okay.
It's an extender. Boom.
Yeah.
The roundtable just got bigger.
Okay.
We've got guests around.
Should I have brought snacks?
No.
Settle in.
No,
for the
they
long
bring
one.
snacks. The people, the guests bring the snacks. Yeah.
Loads of stuff to go through. Some of it will whip through. Some stuff will linger on. Anything you want to know more about? Let's get into it. First one, massive revelation. Fucking hell.
Wild.
What?
Wild.
This
What?
is freaky.
The secret that we've been puzzling over for months. Does he have a little tiny winky?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that was our
No
main,
winky.
No
the thing.
winky.
That was our main theories. He's got a tiny little pin dick,
Yeah.
or that other one
Little tiny Mikkela's needle.
that I think
Little golden needle.
I think I mooted on this show was that he because I got really hung up on the idea that if you're involved in the Black Knives,
Yeah.
you get mark on your body.
Yes, and if one of those used against you, that does happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's really interesting, if you go back and watch those round tables,
Yeah.
it's like, it's good. I want you guys to have theories and go,
Yeah.
but it's one of those where it's like, oh, do I stop him lead himself down? Like, because it's very easy to fix an idea in your head,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
forget that was just something you came up with.
Well, that's the thing.
And then you're like,
I think I just like because I guess maybe we'd heard about them very close together. So I think it was just like, oh, there's a secret on his statue. And I was like,
yeah,
oh.
and to be fair, those are our secrets that we've,
Yeah.
like another secret that we've pursued in the game so far was finding the curse mark on Ranni's flesh.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, so I did not fucking see that.
Well, that's wild.
But all I was saying that, you fucking call it in the episode.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I reckon it's probably
yeah.
Marika. Clip that out.
For social.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like go through the stages again, just in case like refix it in our head because it's a few weeks since we recorded. So once we get to the capital, we're exploring near the tree. And this is before we get to Marika's boudoir.
Yeah.
We go across the tree and we go near to the Colosseum and we find Goldmask and Corrin. They've got further into the capital.
Yes.
And we know Corrin has been Goldmask in this world is like a great scholar, a great thinker. But he's mute, and Corrin is like transcribing communication by like kind of Morse code on his finger.
Yeah.
But at this point, getting so close to the tree, Goldmask is stumped.
Reflections at height.
So they've been increasing as we've been getting closer.
While still a precise calculus, the rhythms grew increasingly wild until he simply ceased. Now the master is facing quite the puzzle. The Golden Order is founded on the principle that Marika is the one true god. However, the name of Marika's second husband, King Consort Radagon, also appeared. Who exactly was Radagon? The master is stumped. His finger has remained still ever since Radagon's name was discovered. Curse my mediocre mind. The master only has me. And here I fail him.
Goldmask is a genius, essentially a great scholar, great thinker, philosopher. He knows who Radagon is. Everyone knows who Radagon is. Marika's second husband.
Yeah.
So he's not puzzled by just the name Radagon.
Yeah.
But the question, what is Radagon?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't understand why his experiment or his research is throwing that name up when he should be learning more about the more about Marika and her relationship with the Great World. He's like, whoa, this was a Johnny-come-lately.
Yeah.
Why is he basically in the source code?
Yeah.
And he's kind of like thrown off by this kind of revelation. Well, for him, it's not a revelation yet. We have to help the great scholar.
Yeah.
We help him square the circle. So this is the moment Gav called it. So we do all this stuff. Remember all these like buffs we were doing, all equipment.
Oh my
jostling
God, just to
to
do
get
one
our
spell.
intelligence up. This is last minute revision.
I forgot about this.
That was so funny. Because we were like working it out, going, if we did this and we did that and we do that.
That didn't work.
Crazy.
But does that mean that we're under levels for this bit or not really?
No, we haven't pursued an intelligence build.
Right, yeah.
So the law of regression as a golden order spell requires quite high intelligence.
Yeah.
We just don't have it.
We just don't have it, yeah.
So we'll get back onto this in a second. But golden order incantations are like we have dragon cult spells, we have Erd tree spells. Golden order ones require usually a high intelligence requirement, a high faith requirement.
Right.
So they need someone that has both. So we're able to cast that because we've got faith as well.
Faith, yeah.
We're just pursuing that type of build. So we take this great revelation back to Gold Mask, and we whisper it in his ear.
That Radagon was Marika herself. Or at least, such is all I can interpret from the rhythm and calculus of his finger. How would such a thing even have been possible, I wonder? Sadly, I cannot comprehend it myself. Do you have a fuller understanding of the matter? Well, either way, I can continue my documentation. In truth, it matters very little whether I understand the Master's thoughts or not. I am merely his scribe. It is my sole and unwavering purpose.
He's Microsoft Word. That's all he's doing. He's just writing it down. He's not going to question the great master. But it's kind of cool that we help him make this kind of breakthrough in his research.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the most that he's had to do as well, because he's just like, because we were taking the piss out of it loads,
He's his assistant, essentially.
We're like, he seems a bit disappointed with it. Like, it just seems like, because he's not really had it much to do, even though he's taken on, he's like, yes, finally, I've got my calling. Not much going on.
Well, his whole thing is I want to serve a great man.
Yeah.
A great thinker.
Yeah.
It's like, we turn up, he's like, to Goldmaster, you're like, do you know how easy this shit is? Yeah. Do you know how easy this shit is?
Corin is quite important, I guess, because he's like our connection, I guess, to Goldmask a little
Well,
bit.
we can't understand his little finger wiggles, but Corin can tell us everything.
Apparently,
so,
yeah.
Oh, imagine fingering with calculus.
Ooh. That's a good time right there.
Anyway, so we do this a little bit in the actual episode. We stop and we watch the original announcement video.
Yeah.
And we see these images.
Yeah.
And it's plain as day. Once you have that new unlocking principle, you go, well, that's a woman, that's a man.
I thought when we watched this...
You can't say that 4 years later.
But this is it, but now I'm wondering if
it's obvious it's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I don't know if
What were you going to say? You thought it was two different people?
Or that it seemed like they were changing. Or I'd be like, oh my God, this girl's got a crazy muscly back.
But also, it's kind of what we say a lot on this. It's like, again,
but then you don't...
Again, it's just imagery to you, isn't it? Like, it probably does register, but then I don't think anyone went into the game necessarily clocking that, or you would never make the assumption that this is like a metamorphic body.
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's one of those things where something in the back of your mind might have gone, like you said, like, what's going on? There's a bit off there. Like, but I
think maybe the most was when I was watching it for the first time.
And you were trying to look at where
I was
boobs
like,
were.
Yeah, I was trying to find the boobs.
And then you were like, sometimes
I
can't see them.
Well, they're pecs now. So what's
and I'm
going
definitely
on?
not aroused. Who said I was?
Hard, soft. I'm in between. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to show you more versions of this that have been under your nose all along.
Shut up.
Oh, no.
Did you spot this one? This is the very intro sequence of the game, which we've watched several times at this point.
Yeah.
The fallen leaves
Tell a story.
tell a story.
Marika.
Lady.
Next hit. Radagon.
Come on
Attention,
now.
lads.
You're
Come on now.
joking
That's the
me.
concept art that's used in the intro sequence. Marika, Radagon. Marika,
That's...
Radagon.
That makes me feel
That's brilliant.
like an idiot.
And it's one of those things with like anything like a twist.
Yeah.
I always think like the art of a twist is you have to see enough information that it's almost fair game.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not a
Yeah.
twist, it's a surprise.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
revelation.
Yeah.
But how brazen and how bold are you with those details?
Yeah.
Because too much, you spoiled it. People have guessed it all.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of fun game between like author and audience. It's like how many cards do you put down?
Because we've talked about that with movies and that before, where you'd be like,
That's why we like Prestige.
a twist can be quite unfulfilling.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
There's not enough for you
I
to
could
like go.
never have guessed that
Yeah.
because the information is not there for me. Whereas like this is actually quite fun because
And it's like quite close, like detective fiction.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to play along, there has to be enough that you can get it as well. Otherwise, it's just like, well, I'm just a trick.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we love the Prestige, because I think it plays it really well. And there's actually loads once you know, but they're subtle, they're buried.
Yeah, I think that's the fun thing about it, isn't it? Where in the Prestige, it's just like there's so many, just like right.
You know,
out
how
in
would they
front
get
of you
away
and
with
stuff
that? It's
like
because
like-
if you're not paying attention, like magic teaches you, if you're not paying attention to something, it's as good as invisible.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what I need to do now is I'll put a credit for, so I had to rip some dialogues off YouTube because we didn't get them in our playthrough.
Yeah.
There's various reasons why. But you know, like sometimes we rest at a site of grace and we have the option to talk to Melina.
Yeah.
There are quite a few of those in the game, and even now doing some like research on these, it's very hard to know. There's kind of some uncertainty what the triggers are. I'm sure some people know.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
When you Google this, there's a lot of like disagreement. So I'm going to show you a dialogue that you get when you rest at the site of grace in Marika's bedroom,
Okay.
which we didn't get, but the internet kind of thinks you get it if you don't rest at any other site of grace in Lanedale.
Jesus.
So it's like don't quote me on that, but that's what I found in a few places online.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a reward for like getting really far without resting.
Yeah.
Like a challenge thing.
So in the
don't quote me on that.
When would you ever do that as well? Like
in the show, were you like inside, like, oh, we might get this?
No,
or-
because like I'm actually quite uncertain what these Melina triggers are.
yeah.
Like I think I went and got us one back in a church just outside of Lanedale a few episodes back. But we have missed a few, and it's one of those fine things where it's not like I'm like going, whoa, we have to go to this church now.
Yeah.
If we get them, we get them. The really important ones we'll try and get.
Yeah.
This one I don't think we would have ever got. Imagine me going,
Stop.
if
Don't
that's
do
the
that.
reason why, Rory, you never resting at a site of grace because of this one line.
yeah.
But that's
Also,
that's why we have Roundtable Hold.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, the worst would have been as well is if you did that and then by the end you were just like, well, it didn't work.
I honestly, because there is a lot of discrepancy. If anyone actually knows the trigger for this,
Yeah.
because I went back and looked at our footage when we rest for the first time, because also sometimes we miss them.
Yeah,
because
absolutely, yeah.
it's one of those things. We're talking, I'm thinking of things, you're thinking of things, you're thinking of things. They are actually bit. I do think with the Melina thing, if she has dialogue, she should just appear.
Yeah.
like she does at the end of this boss fight.
Yeah, there's a bit in episode 46 where we literally miss it. We
and
missed
it is
completely,
frustrating
like-
because there is good stuff in them. This one is really revealing. Again, it makes sense because we're in Marika's bedroom.
Yeah.
Imagine the shit that went down here.
I love it. She was like, welcome to Radagon's Marika's bedroom. You're like, all right, well, just give it away.
Where they shag wanked. So she always says in Marika's own words.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with
So she's referring to Marika's words. She gives you Marika's dialogue.
own?
Wow.
Yeah.
O Radagon, leal hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered, both. Mine other self.
Let us both be shattered, mine other self. Now, there's a lot of slippage in language here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
confusion. And this is because, like, there's obviously something more baffling going on. And I will say, this whole thing, I talked about this a bit in Lore Masterclass a few months back. This is meant to be ambiguous.
Of course. Yeah.
There's lots of things in these games that aren't ambiguous.
Yeah.
You know, we know who the children of Renala are.
Yeah.
If From wanted us to have a definite take on this,
They
they
would.
would give us some objective information or give us enough information to lead us down a certain way. We're meant to be speculating on this relationship between Marika and Radagon.
Yeah.
But also, I love the slippage of language because you do say, like, you say to your spouse, you're my other half.
Yeah. Mine other self.
My other self or my other half.
Yeah.
That's fun, isn't it?
And there's a lot, you know, like we said about the brothers D.
Yeah.
Again, know their names. Quiz coming up. There are two, like one soul and two bodies.
Yeah.
Like, which is one definition of love. But it's just interesting. And also that's in her bedroom.
Yeah.
She says, Leal Hound of the God, thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Kind of implies he's separate.
Yeah.
Or is that just a part of herself?
Yeah.
No,
Is
that-
it something she's invented, she created? We'll go through the bigger options. Let us both be shattered by on the half. Shattered. Does she know when she's going to shatter the Elden Ring, they're going to be separated?
Yeah.
Because those cutscenes almost imply in that act, there's maybe they're fighting.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, that's
speculate on why
interesting.
that is when we dig into Radagon.
Like she was trying to separate the two of them.
Or
And
does
he's
one
trying
of
to
them-
keep it together. Yeah.
Does one of them want to shatter it? Does one of them want to restore it.
It does seem
it's almost pulling back, like, because he is the Leal Hand of the Golden Order.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting. Like, I think the first time that I saw that, I'm not looking at it being a shattering. I was looking at it more as like, I thought it was like an anvil, like
an
a
act of
smithing,
forging,
like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it was being forged. That's always in my head how I thought it was. And then I was just like, I just thought early doors in this, I was like, oh, I've just read that wrong, and that's the shattering.
It is like we said in the episode, it is an ambivalent image.
Yeah,
and a hammer is either a tool or a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll just play that again as well, just so you can hear it once more.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika.
And this is what Melina usually does. She gives us Marika's words,
right?
Which implies she knew Marika quite closely.
In Marika's own words, O Radagon, Leal Hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered, both. Mine other self.
Mine other self. Again, I think just worth reiterating that thing is like Marika wasn't always a god. She became a god when she was chosen by the greater will.
Yeah.
So in this world, you can assume godhood. It's an act of like becoming. Like we think of, God in our world as like eternal.
Yeah.
But she's been like selected by this outer god. He's like, you're going to be god on this planet.
Yeah.
So she's like, speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because is it similar as well? Because we've always talked about like the stepchildren almost like
ushered into.
But
we now know that their father was Radagon. So they actually always had god DNA in them.
Yeah. That's a good shout.
Because we've always assumed previously like Renala, Radahn, Rykard.
Yeah.
They were children of Radagon and Renala.
Yeah.
And then when Radagon left Renala to marry Marika, he was like, well, they're my stepkids now. They can all be demigods.
Yeah.
But now we know that if Marika was always Radagon, in their act of like conception,
that's pure thing.
They were part god to begin with.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff there. So this is, like I said, this is going to be a chunky boy of an episode.
Yeah.
It's worth drilling into Radagon. This is the first time we ever saw a statue of Radagon down in the Weeping Peninsula.
That's right.
And we're doing his pose.
With his lattice.
With his lattice.
Yeah.
And so what do we first learn about Radagon? That he was the husband of Renala.
Yeah.
And that he fought her during the Liurnian Wars. So Liurnia is the area that Rhea Lacari is, basically Wales. This is a time when Marika was trying to establish her reign. So Marika becomes god, but it's not like everyone in the world is like, yeah, I'm going to believe in you.
Yeah.
She has to like establish her power by fighting, making people submit to believe in her rule. Like, the Golden Order is going to rule over you. Liurnia, Wales, were like, nah, we're not doing this. Fuck off England, essentially. Like, you're imposing rule upon us.
Yeah.
So Marika assumes godhood, but she needs to establish her reign through a series of wars. And Radagon is one of her champions. He goes out and leads her armies. Now, this is where we find out a little bit about this. This is Barrier of Gold. This is where From are really good. Okay. So in a pure gameplay sense, this is a spell that just protects you against magic. But in the world of Elden Ring, if you're going to go fight the magic people, this is what you give your soldiers, right?
Right.
Because it makes sense. They're about to take on a load of wizards. Yeah. This is the spell that you would give them. So this is, that's what it does functionally. This incantation was used by the champions of the Erdtree in the First and Second Liurnian Wars, during which the red-haired Radagon joined the heroes' ranks.
Yeah.
So this is the first mention chronologically of Radagon appearing.
Okay.
So it says, during which the red-haired Radagon joined the heroes' ranks. So this is, during these wars, he established himself as a figure of importance.
Okay.
Like, he's obviously done something in these wars. So one, this is the first time he just appears in history.
Yeah.
Or is this when he is invented?
Okay, yeah.
Like, was he a pre-existing man and he just does great in these wars?
Yeah.
And Marika goes, like what, see? Or does she create him during this period of time?
Yeah.
Ambiguous.
And that's the thing, is like,
to fight?
And they accept
champion, because they want to subdue.
Yeah.
Because the Wizards of Rhea Lacari believe in the stars. Like, none of this fucking Golden Order shit. And that's why Marika's like, no, I'm going to rule over all this land. And it's through, she wants to establish that through warfare.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's the thing, is I guess like it helps. I guess like then is what the reason is, but for her not, maybe like they wouldn't accept her in the same way that they would accept him, like for
Wouldn't
her.
accept
they're not accepting it, but it's just a different ideology.
Yeah,
because they study the stars.
Yeah,
whereas she's trying to impose the greater wills.
Right. Yeah,
because like Selen's pursuing a different thing, Rani's pursuing a different thing.
Yeah,
they're looking to the moon and the stars, so they're like looking at different like. Think of it like it's crude comparison, but like liberalism and conservatism.
Yeah.
The Erdtree, the rule of the Erdtree worship is like, we need to be worshipping this tree. They're like, we're wizards. We worship the stars.
Yeah.
No, you're going to believe what we believe. And they're trying to like force them to submit.
Yeah.
But they can never beat Rey Lucaria. They just can never topple them, even with that incantation to protect them against magic.
Yeah.
Despite like fighting hard, Radagon never wins.
Yeah.
So this is what happens.
Do you possess any celestial dew? Then I would like to share my knowledge with you concerning the miracle of this Church of Vows. Radagon once cleansed himself with celestial dew, repented his territorial aggressions, and swore his love to Renala. The Order of the Erdtree and the fate of the moon were conjoined, and all the wounds of war forgiven. This miracle blesses the Church to this day. And so you need only follow Radagon's example to restore any bond, however strained or severed, to its rightful state of harmony.
Again, tying in story with an in-game mechanic of absolution. Yeah. So this is, couldn't beat them, okay, like has done in like medieval history.
Yeah.
We'll just marry them.
Yeah.
And we'll have a truce. And it's like, you can still pursue your magic, but we're going to rule everywhere else. And so the church that we go to and meet Muriel is the Church of Vows.
Yeah.
And that's where they got married.
Where they got married, yeah.
From that place, you can see both the Erdtree and you can see Rey Lucaria.
Little halfway house.
Is that a hard
There's
thing
compromise.
Is that a hard thing to do? Marry off someone when you are someone? Like,
if they are.
How the fuck is that? How does that, like, logistics? How does that
Magic.
work? Like,
Gavin. I became flowers earlier.
Because that's the thing that we talked about a little bit in the episode, which is like, how does it actually work? And I guess that's the thing we don't know yet.
We'll go through all the bits, and then we can I think we can postulate a few different scenarios.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
some of them are mutually exclusive, and it's like a bit of a spectrum of possibilities.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how they did it right now. Larval Tear made two of herself.
Yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfired one of them, dressed one of them up like a man.
Beautiful wedding. The larvals in tears.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Think about it.
All of your answers on this are about Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's always Mrs. Doubtfire. That's what we
Mrs.
cut out of
Doubtfire.
every episode.
It's always it.
And then through Muriel, we basically, because again, there's a bit of an assumption, but he's there, he's in the church, he's probably married them.
Yeah.
He knows more about Radagon. So we learn actually quite a bit about Radagon from him.
Lord Radagon.
Yeah, why not?
Lord Radagon was a great champion, possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head of a great
So he led her
golden
armies.
host.
Yeah.
When he met Lady Renala in battle, he soon repented his territorial aggressions there, and became husband to the Carian queen. However, when Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Renala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures to this day as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord.
We know there's the mystery of the statue, which is Radagon as Marika. But even Muriel was saying, he was like, it is weird when he left Renala.
Yeah.
Because he was like, not just because why did they leave her, but he was like, why would Marika, when Lord Godfrey, this fucking amazing bloke, left her? And there's a bit of a mystery about why was he hounded away. We'll come back to that. But there's a bit of a mystery. It was like, why did she just choose this like basically commoner to be her second husband?
Yeah.
And he was like, it's almost like the tabloid press didn't know why she picked him. It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like it's something like people would chat about going, really? Radagon?
Yeah.
Like he's not highborn.
He's a champion, but come on.
It's almost like it's presented as like a bit inappropriate. It's just like, what's the actual line? the mystery endures to this day as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, which kind of implies maybe he did love her. And moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord for this like great title.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a maybe that's the thing. It's like because that line does suggest about mystery. Be like, one, why would you choose a commoner? But two, maybe he did actually love her. I mean, like that was a big mystery to them that he left because it was just like you quite clearly love.
Which would
Renala,
imply
like,
autonomy.
Yeah.
Or at least some independence, but also maybe Marika loved her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just under the guise of Radagon.
Yeah.
There's so many different possibilities of this.
Maybe that's
why
like
was
a
he
heartbreak.
recalled? Like, because Marika, like one way of squaring that circle is why was he recalled? Because Marika needed the fighting part of herself.
Yeah. And also like had gone too far with like thinking that, oh, the relationship with Renala was just going to be this, you know, functional thing. And out of nowhere then they've fallen in love with Renala for the first, oh my God.
And she wasn't planning on Godfrey leaving her.
No, yeah.
So we'll return to the mystery. Why was he hounded?
Yeah.
Because Radagon is only recalled to the capital to be her husband when Godfrey goes.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Let's learn more about Radagon.
Yeah.
So Discus of Light. One of the incantations of the Golden Order Fundamentalist. That's the description of what it does. This incantation can be cast repeatedly. A gift from the young Mikola to his father, Radagon.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's worth just, because we use the word Golden Order at a time, just actually drilling down and remembering what that is really referring to.
Yeah.
So Radagon leads the Golden armies. Anything golden is associated with the capital and Marika's reign. But this tells us the Golden Order are fundamentalists.
Yeah.
So they believe in it, you know, obsessively.
Yeah.
So that's what I think you should take away is Radagon is associated with fundamentalism. So if we go back to that theory that when Marika is shattered in the ring, who would want to repair it as quick as possible?
Yeah.
A fundamentalist.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is everything that we're built upon.
Yeah.
So I think associate that idea with like Radagon is this like fundamentalist.
Yeah.
Sons love him. So this is both the armor sets for the knights that follow Rykard and Radon.
Yeah.
So they both have calling like references to their father.
Yeah.
It's like they want to go like I'm his son. I'm proud to be his son.
It's cute, isn't
I
it?
want
The red
people to
hair.
associate me with Radagon because he was a great warrior. We got this ages ago. This was in Ray Lucaria.
Yeah.
So it's found in Ray Lucaria. So did he leave it behind when he left? So functionally, this shortens casting time of sorceries and incantations. It's a legendary talisman, one of the best ones you can get. As the husband of Renala of Carrier, the red-haired Radagon studied sorcery. And as the husband of Queen Marika, he studied incantations.
Yeah.
Thus did the hero aspire to be complete. So Golden Order magic, incantations is usually faith.
Yeah.
Again, fundamentalist. I believe in it.
Yeah.
Sorcery is academic study. It's intelligence.
Intelligence, yeah.
When Marika fought against Renala, initially, he would have just known incantations. But by spending time with her, he learns sorcery.
Yeah.
So he becomes a master of both. Law of regression requires both faith and intelligence.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the
yeah.
things he creates and he's associated with, you need both skill sets.
Yeah.
So he almost he creates new incantations using his knowledge.
Yeah.
That's a little interesting last line there, isn't it?
Complete as well.
Yeah.
Like, did Marika
Aspire to be complete.
Like, did Marika want to learn sorcery?
Yeah.
Did she want to have a seat in there learning this so she could, at that time when she believed in it more obsessively, she wanted to create these new spells.
Yeah.
And to do that, she needed to like know. It's like what Muriel says is like, they're actually not different things. All things can be conjoined.
Yeah. Or like I think that's a really good one. It's like, or as well as like, thus did the hero aspire to be complete. Like as a part of Marika, he's just been sent off to marry
yearning
Renala,
to be a full
yearning
person.
to be a full person. He's met this person.
That's really good,
and maybe fallen in love with her in that way because for one of the first times he actually feels like he's almost complete.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is again legendary talisman, and this looks a certain way. We have another one that's quite like this. Godfrey icon.
Yeah.
So Radagon icon. So they've gone to the same names, but
Yeah.
they look similar, like carved in ivory. Again, another legendary talisman. Like, are these wedding gifts?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like these depict both of the Elden Lords that we know. A legendary talisman depicting the Elden Lord Godfrey. Godfrey was a ferocious warrior. When he vowed to become a lord, he took the beast regent Sorosh upon his back to suppress the ceaseless lust for battle that raged within. This goes back to that idea that Marika needed, once she became a god, she was like, I need to make people believe, but also if they don't believe willingly, I need someone that's going to help me win through warfare.
Yeah.
So her first husband that she selects, there's a very Game of Thrones thing, like a Baratheon. I'm going to get married to a warlord.
Yeah.
Who's going to, like, anyone who doesn't disagree, Godfrey's going to fucking deck him.
Yeah,
Go mess him up.
That's the thing. Is like, I know we sometimes bring it back to this and stuff like that. But we're like, with the George R. R. Martin stuff, you gotta be thinking this is why he's on board.
Yeah.
You know, to like help out with this, because it's just, there's so much to it. I'd love to have been in that meeting with like From being like, hey, listen, man, we brought you in here today because we got all these wild ideas, and he's like, this is fucking crazy. No wonder it's taking him so long to do that book. He's just like, this is too good.
Yeah.
Now. This is too good now.
Yeah.
I not do it now.
Yeah. He's like, got any more games you need me to do?
Honestly, it's easier. I did 50 pages for them.
Yeah.
I'll do
one
a lot of it.
I'll
It was
do one of
Game
those
of
mech
Thrones
ones.
shit. But like this is, it's a historical thing. Like people marry warlords, and it's like Daenerys getting sold to Khal Drogo. It's people are not going to believe you, Daenerys, because the Targaryens have been away for a long time. You need someone that's going to be able to like give you a bit of muscle.
The people of it.
But I love this idea that he was a ferocious warrior, maybe a bit uncivilized. When he became Lord, he had to get a lion put on his back just to keep him in line.
That's badass.
It's pretty badass, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of an interesting thing on Radagon's helmet. Because we know Radagon loved fighting as well.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking loved fighting. Like, he was just a great warrior. Helm of the Golden Lion with flowing red hair, worn by General Radagon. Radagon inherited his furious flaming red hair of his father Radagon and is fond of its heroic implications. I was born a champion's cub. Now I am the lord of the battlefield's lion.
That's cool.
But also, he takes, maybe I should drop this in, I might put it up on the screen. There's another item that I can't pull off the top of my head, but like Radagon uses lion imagery.
Right.
And that is to associate him with Godfrey. There's another item description, I'll dig it out and put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Where, because he was just like, as a kid, he fucking loved fighting.
Yeah.
He's like, Godfrey's amazing.
Yeah.
Even though it was his stepmom's first husband, he was like, he was a legend.
Yeah.
They were both good fighters. And that's like who he wants to be associated with.
Yeah.
But still got the red feathers
His dad
as
is
well.
like,
Yeah.
repping his dad
A
as
nice
well.
bit of both, yeah.
Both great fighters.
Also, his dad's
Good
been
man.
sent away. Like, so.
Dad left his mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complicated. Not a
complicated.
happy home.
Yeah.
So this is the final bit that we get from Miriel.
Radagon harbored a famed sculptor when he
Yeah.
used the skeleton in, and as such,
That's just whipping through the dialogue.
Yeah. We whipped through that, didn't we? That can't be the first time we read that.
But you're like, no, I wouldn't do that.
I get it, I
don't
get
think
it.
it was. I don't think it was. But now that you know the big revelation, let's put up something else. Mask of Confidence. We found this in the inverted carrion tower. Mask with the mouth sewn shut with golden thread. Increases arcane. When Radagon married Renala, he ordered the carrion magic preceptors to don these masks to make it clear that all their matters were meant to keep strictly private. Because what are they seeing?
Yeah.
Because they're in their inner circle. Mask of Confidence. You're in our confidence. And what's the seal closing their mouth?
Golden thread, like the golden needle.
It's Radagon's rune.
Yeah, the lattice.
it's-
Oh,
Yeah.
the lattice!
Yeah.
So it's almost Radagon's like, shh, 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 shh. Like whatever you say, you can't say outside this room.
So then that was
Like
so
maybe they were picking up on stuff. I mean, if
Yeah.
the sculptor did,
the sculptor did.
like, and these people in Rail Kari were around them all the time.
Yeah.
Which then also leads to a sad point. At some point, did Renala count it on?
no, yeah.
It was like cheating on me. Identity
That's
cheating.
Crazy.
Because that's the thing. In my head, I would be like, no, but I guess it does kind of fit in with that. Because if you fall in love with someone and I'm reading it as in like she was making him more whole, it would make a lot more sense that he's like revealing more to her, I guess.
Or
but
maybe
it's
at
just
that
like,
point he was independent and then he does get recalled and it's almost like recall policy. I don't know.
yeah.
You know, it's super ambiguous, but it's just like that. It's such a like, oh, why is he's literally sealing their mouth shut.
I like the way these games kind of relay this information and keep it ambiguous, but a large part of me would just love to watch this as a movie. the actual events happening. And I'm like, it'd be cool.
It's hard because then you have to make choices.
Yeah.
But it would be great.
It'd be so
So we're gonna return to the dilemma of Marika is Radagon, Radagon is Marika.
Yeah.
But it's worth actually just going on a little detour about Godfrey. So we talked a lot about the second Elden Lord.
Yeah.
And also remember, the whole game is us not becoming God. It's becoming Elden Lord.
Yeah.
Elden Lord is the person that enforces the rule of the New Order.
Yeah.
Like, Godfrey fought for her. Like, we bring in the New Order.
Yeah.
Currently, we're married to Rani.
Yeah.
We're her Elden Lord in her scenario. It's like, we're the one who's going to, like, we're going around decking people.
Yeah.
We're the powerful one.
Yeah.
How tied are we to that?
Well, no.
Very, apparently. I haven't seen her in a year.
I mean, until, I don't call anymore. We, on the final episode, you can make that call.
Yeah.
So what do we know about Godfrey so far? Like, Kenneth Haidt tells us it's the first husband of Marika, first Elden Lord, father of the first demigods known as the Golden Lineage. And we knew Godwyn the Golden was his son, the lad who was so anytime like the Golden Lineage, the Golden Bough, those are the kids of Godfrey and Marika.
Yeah.
And now that we've done the final episode of this series, we presume that Morgoth was his son.
Yeah.
The Omen.
Yeah.
Because they come from the same generation. He stays in the capital. He's nothing to do with Renala's kids.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Because that's what I think what we were suggesting was like, they were almost like embarrassed by him sort of thing.
Yeah,
and he was like angry that they'd left.
Yeah. What he says, willful traitors all.
Yeah.
Burdened by the flame of ambition. But we can talk about Godfrey, not just because we talk about Elden Lord. We fight a version of him, an echo of him, a golden shade.
That's right.
It's like a burglar alarm.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but it says Godfrey, first Elden Lord.
Oh, God,
but
the
he's
bubble.
protecting you get into the tree.
You mean, oh God, the bubble.
Yeah. Honk. Honk.
That noise is just unbelievable.
Where's his wolf?
Lion.
Lion.
Yeah.
Where's his lion?
He hasn't got him yet.
I was hoping it would.
He's
pop out or something.
he's not tamed the bloodlust.
Yeah.
Sarosh.
That is a great axe, isn't it?
It's a great axe, but we didn't know it the first time we saw it. But this Godfrey, first Elden Lord with Sarosh upon his back.
So that lion is called Sarosh.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Sarosh.
Good for the quiz.
Yeah.
Sarosh.
But also, like, if you look, just like kind of slight details about that, we just fought an earlier version of him because you just said, where's Sarosh? I won't go back to the clip, but the clip we just fought him in, he's got a full axe. That axe is broken.
It's broken.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
So that could have been like quite early on.
Yeah.
And he's not won as many wars from Marika yet.
Yeah.
And this is like after all the warfare. Like we haven't even been told the areas in the game yet.
No.
We don't know how many uprisings and like we know that Radagon led on the Liurnian wars.
Yeah.
Because we know Godfrey had gone at some point, or maybe he was busy elsewhere, subduing other people.
Yeah.
So it's very hard because you have no orientating principle. But we've actually had quite a bit on Godfrey other places. When we go to Castle Morn, we find these like lore swords. The siege of Castle Morn, a lone hero fights for his vengeance, only to fall at the hand of Lord Godfrey. So all these like things that we find. These sword memorials always give you a little lore snippet about a battle.
Yeah.
Because they're swords left in the ground, like a memorial to like, the Somme or something. And this one says, this castle held out only to fall at the hand of Lord Godfrey. He went down there and conquered it for her.
That's cool.
Neat, isn't it?
Badass.
Those would be like, I don't know what the DLC is. Those would be cool DLC things.
Yeah, just learning more.
Go to all of those swords, and then you get to go to that.
Warp back to the moment. Oh my God.
Because we always hear so much amazing shit in these.
There's memories in Dark Souls 2. I was a mechanic in Dark Souls 2.
Really?
Honestly, I don't remember most Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool? Because you read that at the time, but now we're piecing together what an Elden Lord did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helped someone enforce rule.
It's got to be so hard. Like, because it'd be so hard. Like, an amazing thing will be like, because this is what we're kind of doing here, but going like, this is everything that we know about Radagon. This is, in those bits, because now and again we pick up bits. And I think even in the episode, we looked at that mask with the lattice on. And we were like, hey, look, it's that lattice. Well, anyway, next thing.
Yeah, we don't really know what the secret is.
No,
at that
exactly.
point.
Yeah. Like, we just know that there is a secret. So
but you don't know it's like as bad as that or as big as that. Or
and I think that's the best thing about these games as well, is like we know the secret, but all that does is answer one question.
Oh, yeah, it raises many more questions.
Down a path of like 20 more questions.
You just speculate on it. Obviously, you can create for yourself all these like quite interesting, quite melancholic storylines.
Yeah, it's always melancholic.
It's like a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
What do you see? Sadness.
Yeah. Broken hearts.
And tiny little pin deck.
Yeah. And a tiny little, that's me, man. Broken heart and a tiny little pin deck. Both are connected. So...
I see a massive axe of Godric. So this is what we can make from the remembrance of Godric the Grafted. Again, remember, he tries to beef up or play up his connection and relationship to Godfrey. He's like, I'm connected to the greatest warrior ever.
Yeah.
They describe him as like, he's a runt of a letter, mate.
Yeah.
Joking.
Yeah.
Because now that we can recontextualize it, who actually tries to stop us getting into Stormvale?
Yeah.
It's Margit. He appears to us, Morgott appears, he's like, well, you'll beat this shit muncher easy.
Yeah.
I'll have a go. I'll send my projection. Because he's trying to stop you from getting to the capital.
Yeah.
So this golden battle axe is emblazoned with the figure of a beast, representing the strength of Godfrey, first Elden Lord and patriarch of the golden lineage. I command thee, kneel, for I am the lord of all that is golden. So that's a quote. That's probably what he's saying when he's subduing people.
Yeah.
Outside Castle Morn, he's like, you either submit to Marika's reign or you get in it.
I am the lord of all that is golden. I am the Elden Lord. Like,
I command thee, kneel.
Yeah.
That's
and then
badass.
Godric says that to us, and it's kind of like slightly pathetic. He's like, I command thee, kneel.
Even his axe, he's like trying to make it look like his...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trying to go, and he's got a big painting of him. He's like, that guy, I'm related to him.
Yeah.
Too hard. Trying a bit too hard, I
It's
think.
trying a bit too hard, yeah.
So this is actually quite a long quote, so I won't play it again. But coming back to that thing we said when we first heard his dialogue on Radagon, he says, however, when Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Rennala to go back to Marika. Seems like Godfrey did a pretty good job as Elden Lord.
Yeah.
Why was he hounded away?
And I guess, well, that's the thing, is like, we're like, oh, well, Godfrey's gone, so Radagon can go back. But then I guess Godfrey leaving means he's got to go back because Marika is then unprotected, I guess.
She doesn't have any muscle.
Yeah.
There's a power of that. She might see like, I'm exposed here.
But then that's the thing. It could be that Marika has instigated him being hounded away because then she knows that Radagon has to come back because he's going to come back to protect her. That's why everyone is like, it was so confusing that he left. And it was like, oh no, he has to go back and she knows that.
We're going to dig into something here. So just hold in your mind that concept that she wanted him to go away.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to dig into that in a second.
She wanted him to go away to Rennala.
No, to be hounded from the lands.
Oh, she wanted Godfrey to go away.
Yeah, right now, you think about what we currently know in the game. Where is he?
Yeah.
We don't even know where he is. We know nothing about his location. We don't know if he's dead, alive.
That's a good point. I just assumed he was gone.
Because you think this is ancient history, but we know that death doesn't. We only know one demigod has ever died.
Oh God, he's alive, isn't he?
And also,
I'm gonna have to fight him.
And also, we know that Marika. That's the thing. In my head, it was like ancient history, but only because I was like
eternal.
All these other people. But then it was like, well, Marika was there, Margit was there, so it's just like all these people. It still exist. So why have we assumed that he's not there?
Only one demigod's died that we know of. That we've not decked.
Wait till the next time we play, we're going to be like, he could be anywhere. We open one door. He's here. He's in there.
This is, actually, I do have that thing. This is Radagon's lion armor.
Right, this is the...
this is one I was referring to. Worn by General Radagon, the golden lion is said to symbolize Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and his beast regent, Sorosh. From his youngest years, Radagon was naturally captivated by the Lord of the Battlefield. He's like reading about him in Shoot magazine.
Yeah.
And like posters on the wall of like, oh, he's amazing, isn't it? I want to be known as the lion.
He's basically American Gladiator.
He's amazing. And it's just like Radagon, who loves fighting. He's like, oh, it's amazing.
But also, Radagon, Radagon's probably been one of the toughest people that we've fought.
And he's in a bad state.
Yeah.
Like he's a shadow of him for himself.
Imagine then fighting, if we do have to fight, Godfrey. And he's the person that Radagon
looked up to.
Oh
boy.
So you just love fighting, love this fighting. So there is another sword memorial that we can find It's near Caelid and it tells us more about Godfrey. It's quite a sad one. Lord Godfrey, at the end of his campaign, his golden armies unvanquished and unbowed, yet it finds grace lost, tattered, and faded. So when I was putting this together, I was thinking of that line from Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
And Alexander wept, seeing as he had no more worlds to conquer.
Yeah.
He's like, he was unbeaten.
Yeah.
He's conquered everything for her. And at last, because he loved fighting so much, he's like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I find grace lost, tattered, and faded.
What's
What am I doing
unbowed
now?
mean? Like, I know what unvanquished means,
Unbowed,
obviously, but-
like not bowed back. You're not
Yeah.
broken. You're not taking the knee. You're not kneeling to anyone and bend like.
that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yet finds grace lost, tattered, and faded.
Okay. So we're going to come back to this quote because I think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
We're going to go through a little detour. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head whether we got these Melina dialogues. I think we got a couple of them, or maybe one. And if we did get them, so I've used YouTuber footage.
Okay.
But if we did get them, still, I don't think it would have meant nothing to us at the time.
Yeah, of course,
So
yeah,
again,
yeah.
remember, when Melina speaks to us, she says, in Marika's
Own words. Yeah.
So like, she was obviously in her inner circle or a handmaiden at some point because she knows what Marika said firsthand. This is what she says. This is bonkers.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well.
Or she can interpret
Shall
it.
I share them with you? In Marika's own words, then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Marika's own words. Then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed. Return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring. Grow strong in the face of death, warriors of my Lord Godfrey. So she's speaking to someone, there's some person saying, in the future,
Yeah.
I want you to come back and I want you to wage war here and I want you to take the Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So we were always like shocked. I was like, why is Marika shattering the Elden Ring? She wants it to end.
Yeah.
And you find that in the first church.
So, but is that like, we say like, is that speaking to one person or is that speaking to
People.
everyone?
Maybe a people. So
Because in my head, I was like, return to the lands between, because that's what we're doing.
that's
and
what we've done.
Tarnished are
And
doing.
that's what all that intro sequence is.
Yeah.
They're all like from overseas. It's like, come back. At some point in history, so some people read this as Marika had a contingency plan.
Right.
And like she was seeding this happening. She says, you guys go away.
Yeah.
Because I know this war is going to come, the shattering, where all my kids are going to be fighting.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
you guys elsewhere safe. And then at a future point, come back to these shores.
Yeah.
And I want you to take it. Warriors of my Lord Godfrey. So she's sending Godfrey away. So
Yeah.
he wasn't hounded. She's exiled him with a reason.
Right.
And because you're saying she's talking to the Tarnished,
Yeah.
reread this dialogue, okay? His golden armies unvanquished and unbowed, yet finds grace lost, tattered and faded.
Yeah.
What do you refer to gold when it's tattered and faded or burnished? It's tarnished.
Tarnished. Yeah.
Tarnished is faded gold.
Yeah.
We know anything that is golden or the golden lineage is Godfrey.
Yeah.
The tarnished are connected to Godfrey.
Yeah.
We're
because-
his descendants.
And that's what, when she says in that last quote, where she says, warriors of my Lord Godfrey, like warriors of the Elden Lord, like who we're following.
Like we're
yeah.
descendants of him.
Yeah.
But it's that idea that tarnished, she's like, I will give back what I once claimed. That's the guidance of grace.
Yeah.
Because like when you come back, you're going, you can see it again.
Yeah.
But she's like, Brandon, take it for yourself. Like take it away from the greater will. I know it's quite like a lot. There's one more bit of dialogue that is connected to this. Oh, actually, maybe that first one. Let me just go back. Actually, this one actually does make sense. This dialogue we just read,
Yeah.
this does take place in this church, which
Okay.
is known as the Church of Pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Pilgrimage, which is
like
a spiritual and
going to- yeah,
meaningful
yeah,
journey.
yeah.
So it's like, this is the church you'll set out from.
Yeah.
This is where I'll address you and tell you this message. And this is where you come back to. this is in the third church of Marika, where we get the Flask of Wondrous Physic. Again, if you connect this to what we just learned.
Spoken echoes linger here. Words of Queen Marika, who vanished long ago. If you wish, I will share them with you.
Not interesting.
Very
The
well.
mouse.
I know.
In Marika's own words, my lord, and thy warriors, I divest each
I'm
of
taking
thee
away from you.
Yeah.
of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between.
Driven,
Ye
hounded.
will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance.
We don't have a maiden.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're tarnished. So she's basically saying, again, we know that the tarnished don't have grace in their eyes.
Yes.
And she just said, so what we heard from Muriel, he says, at some point, Godfrey was hounded from the lands between.
Yeah.
And she's like speaking to him. She's speaking to Godfrey and his descendants, his band of people.
Yeah.
He's going, you will be driven from the lands between.
Yeah.
It's basically the end of the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's like, because he can take it.
And that's why in the sad sword one, where it was like, once he found he was like unvanquished, unbowed, and then there's no grace.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of like, well, that's like,
So,
I divest each of you of
But
thy
it was
grace.
like, one day there will be a war for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there will be a war. Come back then, and my lord. She says, my lord.
Yeah.
She loves him still. It's like, I need you to come back and take this for yourself at a future date, or one of your descendants. And remember, all those images that we see of the Tarnished, Gold Mask, Oraloo, Fear, Dung Eater, they're Tarnished.
Yeah.
A lot of them are depictions of them dead.
Yeah.
It's because no one can die in this world. So it's like, she says, you will live and you will die.
Yeah.
But one day you'll come back.
You'll come back. And we're in that one day.
Yeah. We're doing it. We're fucking doing it.
We're doing it.
And again, to make it even
This
writ
tiny
large, I don't think we got
golden
this one.
aura is the grace of the Erdtree. This light once shone in the eyes
Says it.
of
Yeah, this used to be in your eyes.
brethren.
Yeah.
But now you're tarnished.
Yeah.
Gold that doesn't
It never
shine is
guides you.
tarnished.
Also, I hear. You can see them, can't you? The rays of grace that guide you through your burden.
Just connecting that dot, and also maybe understanding that Marika, because we do find out in the game that she shattered the Elden Ring. What is she up to?
Yeah.
Like, she's scheming, and it might not be for bad, but like, she's sent Godfrey away, and she wants to topple this thing she's been serving for like eternity. She's just like, I'm done with this. I'm going to shatter it, but I don't want to just shatter it and maybe one of my kids takes power. It's like, Godfrey, I've got this plan.
Well, maybe that's what I guess she knows her children, and she knows what might come.
Yeah, you might
after,
predict, like,
and she knows like
one of them might seize power.
Yeah.
Or like if Morgott got it, well, he
Yeah.
fucking loves the Golden Order.
Yeah.
Or that they would all basically tear themselves apart trying to do that.
And there'll be a
So
power vacuum. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's when you come back.
that's when you come back, when they're all fucked and all fighting each other. But then I guess like the thing that I'm thinking is like, but then have we she's not counted on someone being as good as we are.
Yeah, but
And
we are
getting all
one.
these
We are
bits.
one of the tarnished.
Yeah.
The thing she would hate is like we become Elden Lord and we end up like just going more of the same,
Yeah.
which is a valid one.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think,
like it's one she can't plan for, but she's like, "Are you joking me?"
yeah.
It is.
14 years of Golden Order rule.
Yeah, because that's definitely what it seems like. It feels like she's gone, the power vacuum will happen. There'll be wars constantly. And just when these guys are about to die, fucking Godfrey's going to come back, take them all out. And then we do whatever we
whatever we
want.
want.
In the middle of all this, Auntie Finchie has turned up. Turns out she's really hard.
But maybe her plan was like,
Maybe
we are
this won't
tarnished.
happen,
We
yeah.
are one of those warriors.
Yeah.
So I think she does bank on one of us doing it.
It's only
Because we are tarnished. She's like just one of the descendants of my lord.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't have to
Yeah,
be Godfrey
yeah,
per
yeah,
se.
yeah.
We are one of the people that are coming back from overseas. So she wants us to take rule. It's just when we get there, we might have, drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And gone, oh, these two fingers are wicked.
And sometimes we do.
she's taking a big risk though, because a lot of the tarnished are quite different.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's free will, isn't it?
One of them eats dung.
Yeah.
Like, what if he was the one that made it?
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, Christ.
Whereas Gideon doesn't seem very trustworthy.
Yeah.
He seems like he would be a bad Elden Lord, or like just
we're all
never hear that end
tarnished,
of it.
but yeah, we're not.
Third Elden Lord.
Yeah.
So I know it's a lot, boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how we even get that across on the main show.
You couldn't.
Anyway, let's return to the big question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll touch on it, or you just bring it up and go, "Oh yeah, are we not paying attention?"
Yeah.
It was only funny because in the show you say that right before we see the note.
Yeah.
But when you say it, I'm like, that's not even a proper sentence. It doesn't sound right. And then we literally read it.
Yeah.
So, should we go through the options?
Yes.
These are the main ones I think that you can postulate on. Okay. So Marika created Radagon to seduce Renala and finally conquer the lands between.
Yeah.
So it was a very much a definite act of creation.
Yeah.
So, but even with this, Marika created Radagon as an alter ego, but she was always control.
Yeah.
Marika created Radagon as a separate entity. Remember, like, she's God.
Yes.
She can do stuff like this. It's a fancy world. So it's like, was Radagon always an alter ego, like a mask, a cover, and it's always secretly Marika underneath? And even in that scenario, she could still love Renala.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is an act of deception.
Yeah.
Or does she go, like Eve is created from Adam's rib?
Yeah.
She goes,
It's a totally
he's a
separate
separate person.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Another option.
Okay.
Radagon was a pre-existing separate person. He was a hero and a champion who distinguished himself in warfare, and at some point, fused with, was absorbed by Marika.
Yeah.
I like
was
one.
Was he independent to begin with?
Yeah.
I like one
One B.
B. Yeah.
Like one B. Well, C.
There are some more like you
like,
can get to like more micro.
Because
yeah.
two, I feel
It's like one of those like we'd have to draw a grid and do a logic puzzle.
Yeah, because I think it's definitely. I think I'm leaning towards 1B and then a separate entity that she was in control of until Radagon learned a little bit more, and through his learnings,
He's become a fundamentalist.
and becoming a fundamentalist, he then becomes more of his own thing.
And then that would tally in with the imagery of the shattering and the restoring. At some point, he isn't under her control.
Yeah.
He has autonomy and he starts to be a fundamentalist going, what if he learned that Marika was planning on shattering the Elden Ring?
And
He's like, you do what?
And I guess that works into that idea then of like the longer that he is away from her, the more dangerous it is for her, which means why then she's like, right, I need to send Godfrey away because then I know that leads to Radagon's return.
Also, again, postulating, imagine she knows that Radagon potentially could be reabsorbed or know Marika's thoughts. She's like, I need to get this plan in motion before Radagon comes back to me.
Yeah.
Because he's like, imagine if like he had access to her plan.
Yeah.
She's always like, I've got to get it in motion before he can stop me.
Yeah. Because the idea that he's becoming this fundamentalist, that he's not going to like what she's going to try and do.
This is kind of tapping into what we're saying.
Yeah.
What if Radagon is just another part of her identity?
Yeah.
That over time, because at some point, Marika did believe in the Golden Order.
Yeah.
And like she's the god of it. She believed in the greater will. What if at some point that part of her, that like blind belief, just breaks off?
Yeah.
Actually, just 1 second. I'm just going to like break off here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to we'll leave this in. I'm just going to open up a thing I did on Lore Masterclass because I didn't drop it in here. But this is a really interesting little bit of dialogue that you get from Melina elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't have video for this, but this is a little taster of Lore Masterclass. This is a bit of dialogue that you can find from Melina elsewhere. Again, it's words of Marika.
Yeah.
So this supports the theory that at some point, this thing that Marika was serving, she kind of loses faith in.
Yeah.
So this is the bit of dialogue. I declare mine intent to search the depths of the Golden Order. Through understanding of the proper way, our faith, our grace is increased. Those blissful early days of blind belief are long past. My comrades, why must ye falter? So Marika's saying, I wanted to search this thing I'm serving. And it's that melancholic refrain. Those blissful early days of blind belief of long past. She's no longer drinking the Kool-Aid. She's no longer blindly believing what this god is telling her.
Because the more she digs into it, the more she's
like,
maybe
I don't agree
disagreeing
with
with
this.
or...
And the Golden Order. Whereas Radagon is a fundamentalist.
Yeah.
Two parts of yourself warring. So again, it either ties in, you can use that information to support any of the ones we've played up. It just puts a slightly different cadence on it.
But it's an interesting theory for anyone who's, previously been properly into religion. Like once something happens or you find out something that makes you question that faith, that's quite a huge thing, isn't it?
And usually with fundamentalism and any ideology, if you are a fundamentalist, any new bit of information can be deformed to support your worldview. That's how it's really hard to divest someone of an ideology if they're a fundamentalist. Because any new bit of information that contradicts it, you go, actually supports it.
Could he that's the thing? Could even be the actual act itself of Marika starting to not believe is the thing that triggers Radagon being a separate thing.
Yeah.
I
like 3 now.
And
three might be.
He then becomes
he becomes this entity.
Which is the fundamentalist part of her,
And in a fantasy world, this is why I love speculative literature, like sci-fi, horror, fantasy. Something that is metaphorical, that would be a 400-page book or novel. In fantasy, you go, well, let's literalize it.
It's a fucking monster, mate.
It's a separate person. And they're gonna that's cool, right? It's not necessarily inelegant.
No.
Again, all this new information, let's just watch this dialogue again. Because we now have all those bits of
Spoken
information.
echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, O Radagon, leal hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me. Thou art
Not yet a god.
to become a god. Let us be shattered, both. Mine other self.
And also, let's just go back up to this imagery. What's happening to their bodies?
Yeah.
They're shattering.
Actually shattering.
Through the act of breaking the Elden Ring, they're crumbling like stone.
Yeah.
Let us be shattered. It's almost like those words in her bedchamber. It's almost like exactly what she said to him just before she's gone to do this.
Right.
She's like, you're not yet a god. You can't stop me.
Yeah.
Let us both be shattered, mine other self.
Yeah.
It's almost her last words before going into that tree.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking breaking this thing.
Yeah. Has that, them shattering theirs, their personality
Was the ultimate
shattering,
test of contradictory views.
Yeah.
And that's what we see warring in that moment. She's trying to break it. He's trying to restore it. And they're separating.
Yeah.
Because of that. Which is you can't stop me because you're not yet a god.
Yeah.
But this could be the end of me. Let us both be shattered.
Yeah. That's what that is.
It's fucking cool. One small thing before we finish.
Okay.
This is this is massive. It is the last episode. The children of Marika and Radagon. It's not the quiz yet, but any guesses?
Are the ones that we know?
We know both their names. Morgott identifies them as. You remember that cool scene in the boss fight? We aren't even going to do anything on Morgott this episode.
Yeah.
When we go into his boss arena, he sees ghosts of all the thrones.
Yeah.
Of all the willful traitors, the ones that are abandoned. And he goes, there's 2 next to each other. And he goes, the twin prodigies.
Mikola and Melania.
Mikola and Melania.
Yeah.
Melania and Mikola. What do we know of them? So we know a bit about Melania. We've seen Melania depicted. We know she's the undefeated swordswoman, the blade of Mikola.
The blade of Mikola.
She fought Radon. So she's the blade of her brother. She's her brother's protector. We know that she harbors the Scarlet Rot.
Yeah.
And that she fought Radon in Caelid, but there was no victor. So she went Super Saiyan and unleashed the blossom, which kind of engulfed Caelid and turned Caelid into a hellhole.
Yeah.
Mikola. We've got a few item descriptions.
Lilies.
Yeah.
Lily.
Mikola's Lily, a couple of spells.
Yeah.
We've got the medallion to the Halig tree, which we know as Mikola's Halig tree. So we know that's Old English for holy tree. But he is kind of a lot of the characters unseen to us right now.
Yeah.
We know from a few little tidbits here and there.
Loves gold.
Loves gold. We know he's the way he's referred to in this world is a bit of a genius. So These are two other items that he's not name checked on directly, but these are both made from unalloyed gold.
Yeah.
The one on the right is the needle that we get from the swamp, and that's what we use on Millicent to cure the Scarlet Rot. Well, keep it at bay.
Keep it at bay, yeah.
Who invented that? Mikola.
Yeah.
Why? Because he researched that because he wanted to help his sister, who he loved. It's like, she's cursed by this rot.
Yeah.
I'm a genius. I can cure this to a degree.
Yeah.
That's a sword that he builds for Godfrey, Godwyn the Golden when he dies. So what we know about Mikola is he seems, Morgott says twin prodigies.
Yeah.
And we know that Melania is an unbelievable swordswoman and fighter. It seems like he's a genius because this is a incantation that he makes for his father. So he's like, goes to his dad. He's like, this is better than the one you made because it's a better spell than Discus of Light. So his son outdoes him. And then at the end, and yet young Mikola abandoned fundamentalism.
Yeah.
For it could do nothing to treat Melania as a cursed rot. This was the beginning of unalloyed gold. So Marika and Radagon's son turns his back on the Golden Order.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why we don't know much about him, because he's left. He's a traitor. But he's like, I don't believe in the Golden Order.
Because like, it's not healing this, is
I
it?
did this when I was a kid to impress my dad. But I'm a genius. That's the thing, like a lot of people lose their faith. It's like, well, there's a lot of suffering in this world. Look at my sister who I love. You guys ain't doing anything.
You can't heal that. So
How good is your God if you lets this happen?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Which is the one that, this is a gift to Mikola from his father. And was it a gift?
Sorry, I've misread that.
Sorry.
A gift of gratitude to the young Mikola
from his father.
Sorry, I've misread that.
He made that we read earlier was a gift from Mikola to him. Yeah.
And yet, young Melania abandoned fundamentalism for doing nothing to treat Melania as a cursed rot. So he goes, uses his intellect, his genius, and like in this world, unalloyed gold is a form of technology. And we know that unalloyed gold basically keeps out outer gods.
Yeah.
So it's God defeating tech.
So that's so sweet.
Because remember, the Scarlet Rot is an outer god of a different sort. That's the thing. What would the Golden Order not want? It'd be sacrilegious.
Yeah.
My son is developing some technology
Anti-God.
that blocks God.
Yeah. Because that's really interesting. Is like he abandoned it, but abandoned it because he couldn't treat Melania.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, I've got to do something else. And that was the beginning of unalloyed gold.
Also, like, you'd be a bit disillusioned. It's like, Dad, do you believe in this?
Yeah.
Like, what's happened to Melania?
Yeah.
Also, another thing,
you're like, he's like, this is bollocks. Like,
yeah. So, slightly additional question. Melania is blighted by the Scarlet Rot. Mikola, despite being a demigod, remember both these are Empyreans, like Rani.
Yeah.
So they have the potential to be a new god.
Yeah.
Why does Mikola, as a demigod, need protecting by his sister? So, both of these are children of Radagon and Marika.
Yeah.
But we know that's the same person. What happens when you don't put enough variety into your genome?
Oh, so they've kind
Incest.
of like...
There's something wrong with these kids.
Right, yeah.
Because she is blighted by the Scarlet Rot.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like a slight speculation is these kids are like, they're not well.
No, yeah.
Because they only have one parent.
Yeah.
Because Godwyn and Morgott, again, the omen doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
No, yeah.
They're the children of Godfrey and Marika.
Yeah.
Radon, Rykard, and Rani are the children of Renala and Radagon.
Yeah.
These are the children of one person.
Yeah.
So there's like a little incesty vibe going on, and these ain't born right.
I wonder if there's going to be an equivalent for Mikola. So if Melania is the blade of Mikola, I wonder if Mikola is going to be the something of Melania. It's like they have to.
He's trying to cure her.
They have to coexist. Like she's got to be the strength, but he's got to be the brains, or there's going to be some.
I don't have them all written up, but just like to like summarize them a bit. Like the way that the characters have talked about Mikola, I'm straying close to the wind here, but like the medallion to the Haligtree.
Yeah.
Who wants to go there? The Albinaurics. The Albinaurics are people in these lands that no one likes.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to get to Mikola.
Yeah.
So he is slightly presented as like quite a good person at this point. Like, he's trying to help his sister. He's trying to carve a new, like, just like Rani is. All these kids are like, some are fighting, but Rani, it seems like Mika is like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm a genius. I know how to stop these gods. I'm going to go somewhere else and do my own thing. And all these Albinoids are like, it's almost, they've heard about the Haligtree, like the promised land.
Yeah,
It's like, I want to get there. Because it'll be better for us there.
For the weirdos, we can have a new
like we won't be
life.
judged there.
Yeah, because you're so fucking weird, Mika.
I like him so far, to be fair.
So
I like the sound of
we've got one half of the Haligtree medallion.
Yeah.
So presumably, if Melania's Mikola's blade, we got to fight her to get the other one to go to the Haligtree for him. Not to, hopefully not kill him because he sounds great. But then I also don't want to kill her because she's gone for
Quite
a lot,
tragic
man.
feelings, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's summon, what's her name, to help us fight. Well, she's gone, isn't she? Melania? Yeah.
Millicent.
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 Yeah. She's got the arm now as well.
She's got the arm now.
Millicent, all the M's.
Where the fuck does Millicent fit?
I know.
Like,
Well, I'm going to say one more thing. We will recap this on the main show. You know, like the slightly name conventions with the children.
yeah.
Melania, Mikola. Who knows a lot about what Marika said? Melina.
Oh yeah.
Why does she know so much? Why is she bringing us here? Why does she know all this stuff?
Old friend, allow me a moment to converse with you. You were unable to enter the Tree.
Oh yeah.
Prevented
like bullet time
by the
you were in,
mantle
Yeah.
of thorns. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey
This game is so big.
with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds,
Flame of Ruin.
upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Tree aflame.
Yes, please.
And guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
She gives us a complete medallion,
Right.
and that's what's going to allow us to make the next part of our journey.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely bring that. I'll bring that up on the next episode of so episode 55, I think.
Yeah.
When we're in part 3, is this like it's like why does Melina know all this stuff? And just the naming Melina,
Melania.
Mikola, the
Millicent,
M's like
yeah.
usually connected, and we know Millicent maybe be like a daughter of Melania.
Yeah,
so there's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
like certain rules on names.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I think what we talked about Millicent being like a bud.
A bud, yeah, like
that had,
it's
fallen
just like you can
off.
propagate a flower or a
Yeah.
mushroom. It's good
Quite
stuff in it.
Yeah, that is really
That's a
good, yeah.
lot.
Fucking hell.
But like all along is maybe a potential daughter of Marika also guiding us.
Yeah.
Good luck on the quiz, Gav.
You now belong to a select group of fellows. As such, I ask that you remain constant